Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Wolverine Studios Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2021 Developer Dynasty. We are a week in from first access being started up, so it's exciting to get back to our Developer Dynasty streams. We're going to continue these for about another couple of weeks until we get to the final release of the game, which will be in mid to late November. We've got a lot of stuff to cover this week. We're going to go back to our 30-minute time frame session on here. So we're going to cover some stuff. If you've got anything that that you want to talk about from your experiences so far in First Access, be sure to put those in the chat box, and we'll get to them. We'll talk about them. If you've got small suggestions for things you would like to see tweaked or added or anything like that, you go ahead and put those in the chat box. We'll talk about those as well. Obviously, at this point in time, the game is in first access. We're a couple weeks away from release, so there will not be any huge new features, but there's always minor tweaks, minor suggestions that can be made that we can keep improving things by doing so. We've had a lot of good suggestions in our first access forums, and we've taken those and implementing them, and the game is coming along really well. I'm excited to see how it's turned out. I'm excited to see the reaction and the positive feedback we've been getting, and there's been very few issues with stability or crashes or anything like that. So it's off to a good start here in our beta period. Before we start, I want to thank, as always, our followers. We have a couple of new followers since our last stream. So welcome to our new followers, and of course to our subscribers who are supporting the channel. If you have Amazon Prime, make sure you've linked your account to your Twitch Prime account here, and that gives you one free subscription every month that you have to renew every month. And if you could use that on our channel, we'd certainly appreciate it. So I see in the chat already Breeze 837 stopping to say hello, as well as GM Games Chris. So hello to both of you guys. Thank you for continuing to come to the streams. So we're going to get into some of the new things I've been working on since even the latest build that we've released in the First Access group. And if you want to be part of First Access, just remind you can go to wolverinestudios.com. Just go to the web store. There is the option there to pre-order the game. There's a coupon code there that you can use to get 10% off the game as well. And if you pre-order, you also get a complimentary Steam key when the game is released on Steam. Plus, best of all, you get your license code sent to you right away. You can download the latest beta build and start playing for yourself. Before we start, we got a question from Breeze. He says, since the search bar is in the war room during the draft, would it be pointless since draft boards exist and most people just use position filters? I was thinking of either suggesting to remove it or not. I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to there, Breeze, but I'll go and try to take a look at the draft later and piece it together. But I don't think there's anything there that really is of no use, so I don't think there's anything to remove there. So while we get going here, you guys, like I said, feel free to throw those questions in the chat box. We're going to start with some big changes that have taken place on the Play Sim screen. So I've been working to make this screen a little bit more user-friendly in how things function here. And less confusing with for some new players. And a huge thank you to Mike Tabs for subscribing with Prime there. Love to have the subscriptions happen right during the stream, so that is awesome. Thank you so much, Mike Tabs Hogs, for that subscription there. Anyways, back to the Play Sim screen here. One thing I wanted to make on this screen is something that's a little bit easier. I think it was maybe a little confusing before in using the sim to date function, because basically how it worked before would be that you would have to select the date here that you want to, you know, to move ahead to. So I'll just pick like November 3rd here in this case. And then you would go over to this box and click Sim to Date. And I think that it was a little bit confusing for new people on how exactly that worked, because they would just come over here and click Sim to Date and nothing would happen, and they, you know, maybe get a little bit frustrated. So we've changed the workflow sort of on the screen. So now this initial box on the left where you can select the date is really just going to be a look ahead or look behind box to show you what games were on a specific day. If you want to sim to date, you can go ahead. So I've moved ahead to November 3rd here. If I want to sim to date here, I'll click sim to date now, and I'm going to get a pop-up here, and it's going to automatically default to that day that I was on. So all I have to do is click choose date here, and then it will set me up, and I'm ready to sim to that date. When you're ready to sim, it moves you back to the day that you're on, so that, you know, the game can sim, because the game cannot sim from future or past dates. You have to be on the current date to actually sim. So the game will move you back, and you're all ready to go. If you want to, you know, let's say if I want to change, I want to just sim to one day. I can change sim day. I've also listed the number of days it will sim on here. So when you choose sim week, it will sim the rest of the week, not 7 days. So this week there's 4 days left in this week. So if I choose sim week, it's going to sim 4 days out for me. If I want to sim to the All-Star game, it's going to sim 121 days, to the playoffs 176, and if I want to sim the entire season, it will sim 232 days. But let's say I go ahead and there's some more functionality with the sim to date option as well. So if I pick November 1st, again, I can click sim to date and it will come to November 1st. If I decide that I want to go further than that, I can drop down here and choose any day I want that's still left in the season. I've also added, in addition to how many days away it is, there's going to be things like here it says trade deadline. So if you want to sim to the trade deadline, you'll know where it is, and you know, I can sim right to the trade deadline. If I want to sim, and again, if you don't want to sim to the date, you can hit cancel and leave that there. If I want to sim to date and say, let's say I want to sim to December something, I can start typing. If I want to sim like 50 days or something, I can type 50 days, and I can type 50 and it will give me 50 days worth to sim. It'll tell me that's December 7th. If I want to sim 100 days, it'll tell me that's January 26th. So that way, if you have a specific number of days you want to sim, you know, if you want to sim, if you're on the first of the month and you want to sim a month, you can type 30. I'm obviously not on the first of the month right now, but if I sim 30 days, it'll go to November 17th. And then while I'm simming, we still have all the new functionality on the sim screen here with you know, the pop-ups coming up and all that kind of stuff. But the real goal here was to make it a little bit easier to function on this particular screen. It gives you, you know, I think it helps improve the workflow of what you're doing, and it also will allow you to not have to click back to the original date anymore, because any date you look at in the future here, even if I choose, you know, if I want to look ahead to November 12th here, um, it automatically clears out the sim option at that point, so that when you go back to sim, if I looked ahead and I only want to sim one day, I can click the sim day button, it goes back to the current day, and we're ready to go. So we're ready, you know, to sim. We don't have to manually select the current date from the drop, you know, the date drop down box or anything like that anymore. So I think that on this screen in particular, since this screen is so heavily used in the game, obviously, that having this additional functionality um, will be really, really helpful and useful. Um, so a couple things in the chat box while we're looking here. Chris says it's getting quite intelligent, especially if you could pick a rival one day, for example, but that's probably like 3.0. And if we could change what rival, Bree says if we could change what rivals a team could have for expansion, or for expansion, choose up to 2 or 3 teams to be rivals with. Um, See, the college game has rivals because I think those stay. I'm not sure if there's really any rivalries anymore in the pro game. It's just not like it used to be. So the college game does have rivals, but in this game, no rivals, and I don't think that'll be something that um, ends up getting added. So that is been a big source of development work in the past few days. We've released build 10.0.2 beta to the crowd. So I'm working on 10.0.3 right now. This functionality is not yet in the beta that's available for our first access customers, but it will be in the next build coming soon. So that is the additions on the sim screen here. Again, you've got the different options here with the dates, the new sim to date option, and all in all, I think that's going to make things a lot smoother on the screen. I want to sim ahead just a little bit because I'm hoping we can get some things to happen in the email section. So we're just gonna go through a quick sim here of about a month's worth of days to show some new improvements that I've been working on. And again, if you see anything, while I'm playing here that you have questions about, especially if you're on the fence about, should I purchase this game? I want to know how something works. Feel free to ask. I'll be happy to show you. If you've already pre-ordered and you're playing First Access right now and you've got questions or suggestions, let's have them. Put them in the chat box. We'll talk about them. There's still time, as I said, to make adjustments before the final release. That's what I'm continuing to do. I think most of the I would say that there's been one, or I think we had one. Somebody found one crash issue or a stall issue with the expansion draft, which will be fixed in the next version. There might have been one other two type stalling out issues, but really the majority of things so far that have been addressed during first access have either been minor things that are typos or stuff like that, or suggestions for can it do this? Can I look at things this way? Can you add one more filter for something like that? So we're taking a lot of suggestions and those types of things and really tweaking things as much as possible here before we get to the finish line. And of course, after the game is fully released, if there are things that are not working properly, those will still be fixed. But in terms of suggestions or additions, sort of post-release, those slow down because right now is really the greatest time to do those things. It's the best time right now to add additional features or tweak things so that they're working exactly the way everybody wants them to. We got a couple emails, so let's go to the email box because the functionality has been improved here as well. So we've got on this email here for a team incident report. What I've done here is I've been working on going through all these emails that you receive about players on your team or in the league, and I've been working on linking the names to their player cards so that when I already skipped past this incident, so I don't have the ability to act on it right now. Otherwise, the orange buttons down here would give me options to act on the incident. But if I want to look up what's going on specifically with these two players, I can do so right here now. I can just click on the player card, bring it up. I can go to his player profile and see that his team relationship has dropped. And I can go and check out the other guy who was in the argument as well. And I can see that his relationship has dropped, but not quite as much as the first player. So it's a lot easier now rather than saying, okay, I have to remember it was Jackson and Coulter who had the problem and then go to my dashboard or roster and click to look them up. Now I'm working on giving the links right here that you can just click on and take a look and see see what's going on. And of course, it's certainly a good opportunity to bring up the beautiful player cards we have in the game. This has been such a huge upgrade on this particular screen this year, so I love the opportunity to show it off any chance that I can get. Bree says we should do that for CB21 as well, or CB20 if possible, so it can be easier. Definitely will be on the plans for CB21, Breeze. Really, everything that we've been working on here for the game, all the new little tweaks, stuff like that, those will all make their way to the college game. And as soon as Pro Basketball 2021 is put to bed and released, then we'll start porting all that stuff to the college game, and we'll be doing the developer dynasties with the college game as well, so you can see all those things happen in action there. But they will definitely move to the 2021 version. Not going back to the we don't go back to the older versions and try to work things back into there. We always develop on our new versions. And then Breeze also asked, I wonder if Hall of Fame enshrinement speech for players who get inducted to the Hall of Fame is possible. If if people wanted to write speeches that we could pull from and add as an email or something, I guess we could, but that's not something that I would. I'm not quite sure how that would play out sort of in the game. So yeah, I don't know about that one, Breeze. Chris asks, he gets confused when the magazine is active. Does it say how many days until the issue? It does not, but that's an interesting idea. I'm gonna make a note on that one, Chris, because the publications do become locked and unlocked, and of course over the off season. So when you move into the off season, first of all, you get the draft guide, and then the free agency preview unlocks, and then as you get ready for the start of the season, you get the fantasy hoops issue and the season preview. So I can make a note that maybe while having them grayed out, maybe it could say coming on X date or something like that. Let's see. Breeze wants to know, does free agency preview also make rumors during season for the free agents? It does not. The in-season free agency preview guide, it just gives you the preview of the potential free agents next summer. So it will list everybody in the league who possibly could be a free agent, so that you can click and see if there's anybody who is coming up that you might be interested in, and if so, you could make moves accordingly on your team. Maybe if I was in a position here where I wanted to go after Mike Harrington, I see that he's got a player option, so I know that he might turn down that last year of his contract. I might make trades this year to free up cap space to make a run at him next season. And as a 5-star player, averaging 26 and 10, plus 2 blocks and 2.5 steals, this guy is an amazing player, and I would bet will turn down that $28 million on his final year of his player option to go for a big money deal in free agency. So knowing that, or at least assuming that, I could make the moves during this season to free up the cap space to do that. So those guides, if you haven't looked at them, make sure you check them out. They're pretty cool additions to the game. All right, I'm going to pull up another league here because we've done some work with Summer League as well. So in this league, I'm just going to run it through really quick and run through the Summer League. One thing that had been asked for on the forums was more information about the Summer League. in terms of stats and stuff like that. So what we've done here is I'm going to sim through the Summer League. Um, you can get the full stats for every Summer League team by going to each team's stats page, and so I will show you how to do that. But I've also added an email report after the Summer League to give you sort of a breakdown of who did really well during Summer League, and you'll be able to see that in just a moment. While we're doing this, Chris says, "Is there a good way to wipe out old saves, like a game function? I assume delete the folder and delete the bin." Yep, there's no in-game methods of wiping out old saves. You just open up the game where you have it installed, choose the app disk saves folder, and then wipe out the folder for it and the PBB file for it as well. And then if you want to go into the backups folder, you can also wipe it out there if you like. So after Summer League, you can go to the stats page, and if you click on the stats and click the View Summer League roster, you'll find all of the players that were on your Summer League team. And again, in the Summer League, you can assign your own players to your Summer League team, but you don't have enough to make up a full team. So after you're done assigning yours, there's that initial stage where you can choose. It's like a draft for each team, sort of drafting the players who are free agents that you can invite to join your Summer League team. So all these players are part of your Summer League team, but not part of the team normally. So I'll click on Ron Gooden here, and it shows you that he is a free agent. He's not part of my team. So you can go to your, this is at the stats link, and I selected from the team options, just to show you real quick, I select the View Summer League roster option on the stats page, and that will show you all of your stats for the Summer League, and it's got them all. It's got the, the shooting stats, it's got the advanced stats, and all the miscellaneous stats. So it keeps all the stats for the summer, just like that. And you can check them all out here. And if you want to go around the league, you can do the same thing. You can pull up another team, and you can view their Summer League roster and check out any stats that you want to. So that's one way that you can kind of look and see what happened during Summer League. The new way that the additional option I've added is you'll be able to go to your inbox afterwards, and there will be a Summer League recap option. So this email is going to give you a recap, and it tells you which team was the champion of the Summer League and the final score of that championship game. And then it's also going to give you the top 10 in points per game, assists per game, rebounds per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. And you'll also notice that next to each player is a logo, so that you can click and see what team that player is playing for. So everybody who has a team logo is part of a team. So it's a player that's already, it's a rookie for that team or something like that they've assigned to their Summer League team. Anybody who does not have the team logo but has the league logo, you'll know is a free agent. So in this case, Quentin Harris averaged 9.8 assists per game. He was the Summer League leader in assists per game. So knowing that, and knowing that he's a free agent, obviously, he's, not an all-star by any stretch of the imagination, but that might be a guy that you would target in free agency when you get there, knowing that, he did really well during the Summer League. Let's see, and a couple things in the chat box. Now we'll move over to Breeze. Summer League reports after league, kind of like who did good and who did bad as gems or no gems. Does Summer League have playoffs in this game? The Summer League does have a playoff. It doesn't have a playoff bracket or anything, but it does eliminate the teams down to a championship game. And as you can see, this email here will give you the lowdown on who are the top players statistically for the 5 major stat categories during Summer League. Chris asks, is there a max age or max over to exclude guys from Summer League? I guess they do have some old journeymen at times. There is. I don't recall what I set the max age at. There's certainly a max over. You can't you're not going to find like the young star players in the league who will go to summer league. And certainly they probably wouldn't be free agents anyways to pick up. But you'll be able to see that. Here's some more functionality too on. Oh, I don't have it. Oh, I do have it set here. So this email here that you get in the summer too, the free agency evaluation, that too will now have clickable links so that you can pull up these free agents, really quickly with a click, and see kind of some information about them. This email also gives you information about what that player is looking for money wise compared to what what you have, what kind of role they're looking for, how they feel about the talent on your team, and there's also, let's see if we have a miscellaneous. So we do here on this player, Krishan Weber. It says that we know he's close with Todd O'Connor, so that's in our favor. So if we look at Weber, he's a 3-star player, and it mentions that he has a friendship with Todd O'Connor. So if we go back to our roster, O'Connor is one of the players who is on our team. So there's a hidden friendship rating in the game that you can't edit or change or anything like that. It will match up players who have that friendship rating, and sometimes that can be a deciding factor in terms of who comes to your team through free agency. So that email, and again, that's in the inbox in the email section. It is from your internal scouting department, and it's titled Free Agency Evaluation. And that email comes to you on June 28th in the game season, the day of the draft. So you'll be able to look at that email and then take a look at some of the top guys and see if there's anybody that might have a relationship with players on your team that could help you as you pursue free agency. Chris says, is there a way to choose summer league coach, or that's predetermined? Normally that's a fun one, teams to decide to groom staff to. It is predetermined in the game just to be the head coach. So there's not a separate summer league coaching staff. And Bree suggests a summer league playoffs bracket to keep track on who's playing against who in what round in the playoffs for the summer league. I will look into that, Breeze. The bracket functionality on the screen is designed for the actual playoff section, but I'll see if there's a way I can tweak that to do something for the summer league bracket. I'm just gonna make a quick note about that on my to-do list here. So really, that is that's a half hour already. That went by super fast. That's the sort of stuff that I'm working on at this point. Obviously, if there are bugs that are being reported, those are being very quickly eliminated. There really have been not very, very minimal reports on things that are not working. So the game is extremely stable. It's in extremely good shape. It's the second year on the platform, so it's really, really solid at this point, and we're really just looking to plus things. We talked a lot about that on our final Developer Dynasty stream, and I talked about that on the first Access playthrough we did last Tuesday. And that's what we're kind of seeing here with things like the Summer League recap, the additions in the free agents, the emails to directly link to players, and definitely the options on the sim screen, which should streamline or at least make more sense to you for how simming the games will work in terms of your workflow and what you need to do in order to get the sim going and have less confusion, less back and forth stuff like that. So we had a really good turnout. Again, I really appreciate everybody who's coming to these streams every week. We're going to keep doing them on Tuesday night for pro basketball until we get to release. We will start picking them up again for college football 2021, the Developer Dynasties, as we get a little bit further there. Pro Football 2021 was just released not too long ago. So Brooks is sort of he's continued to put more work into that post release. There's been a couple of updates there, and I hope you've checked out Pro Football 2020. There is a free demo available of that game if you're interested in football and want to see what Brooks has been up to there. And if you're interested in this game, there will be a free demo as well as soon as the final release is done towards the middle or end of or late November. So thank you everybody for coming to our stream tonight. I hope you enjoyed this look at some new things. We'll be back next Tuesday at 7:30 to do some more, kind of showing off some more of the tweaks and adjustments we're making. And I hope that you have, if you haven't already got your pre-order in and started playing, go to www.wolverinestudios.com right now. It is the only place you can pre-order the game. You can get a discount, get that complimentary Steam code upon release, and most importantly, get your license key and download link to start playing the beta copies today. There is already tons of mods out there, graphic mods, real player face mods, team mods, all that kind of stuff put together on our forum by our community. So if that's your thing, if you want it to be modded to be more realistic and real life type things, you can go and download one of those free community mods. And huge thanks to our community who supports the game in such an amazing fashion. So that'll do it for tonight. Thank you for coming to the stream. Thank you to our subscribers, especially Mike Tabs Fogs, who subscribed for 2 more months with Prime during this stream. So huge thanks to Mike there. And we will see you next Tuesday at 7:30 right back here on our Twitch channel. So everybody have a great week. We'll get this 10.0.3 beta update out in a couple of days, as there's still a few more things we're working on. And we'll see you back here next week. Thanks, everybody.